Welcome back, everyone. This is part 2 of the Flying Podcast from Miami International to Boston, Logan, I believe, airport. And on the part 2, we're going to continue this journey. On the part 1, we talked about John Travolta. We talked about Zack Snyder. We talked about capitalism and other things, Bermuda Triangle. If you missed the first part, go check it out. It is a flying podcast, so that's basically what this is. I'm experimenting with this to see if you guys like this or don't. Please leave a feedback down below if you would like to see me do this more. Instead of a coffee vlog, maybe this is better. And let me know what you think. The reason I'm doing it like this with videos, it's because it's a better audio quality, it's a better overall quality, and then you guys can leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. We're flying with CRJ 550 Bombardier airliner. This is the one that you have seen on the Flight Simulator 10 and the previous Flight Simulator 2004. It's a very famous airplane. It's a very beloved Microsoft Flight Simulator airplane, and that's what I'm flying here. Let me show you in case you guys missed it. So this is basically what it is, the Bombardier 550 CRJ. Oh, look at that. Look at that. There's another airplane right behind me. That was pretty cool. That's the real airplane right there. So we're across Atlantic Ocean. Here, let me show you. Right over here. We're, I believe, just east of Cape Canaveral, and we're like right in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, flying. A lot of clouds at the moment. So, on the previous part 1, we were talking about Skinwalker Ranch TV show. You guys might have heard about that TV show. I don't know. Skinwalker, Secrets of Skinwalker in Utah. There's this this ranch called Skinwalker, and there was basically 2 billionaires. One billionaire who his name is Bigelow, who purchased that long time ago, sold it to another billionaire, and this other billionaire, it's now in possession of that Skinwalker Ranch property, a bunch of acres. Supposedly this area, it's haunted. This area has all kinds of weird stuff happening to it. So the History Channel teamed up with this billionaire to create a TV show, reality TV show. Now, me personally, I don't think there's anything weird going on there. I haven't heard of anybody dying there. I haven't heard of anything major happening where other people would have reported it. It's right there in the middle of Utah. You think others would have maybe reported the same thing. So I personally think that there's nothing going on there. I think they're just trying to make money off of that property. That's the reason why Bigelow sold that property. He's like, hey, dude, there's nothing going on here. I'm just wasting money paying the property taxes and property taxes on that Skinwalker Ranch. It's in millions. So he was like, let me just sell this to another billionaire. So this other billionaire is trying to promote that this area, it's haunted. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening. So they made a TV show with the History Channel. And then, of course, people watch these TV shows, reality shows, and then everybody's coming from all over the world trying to look into this place. And I think this guy is trying to create this like a tourist attraction, kind of like an Area 51 where everybody's going there. And he's making money off of it. And that's my issue and the problem, like I talked about it. I have no problem with people who make money by being honest, who make money by being frank and honest, and are not scamming the people. My issue becomes with individuals who are making BS, creating bogus stories to profit money. And you see that on YouTube. You see all these videos. Oh, I see a figure behind my closet. Something, it's moving. Do you know how easy it is to purchase a costume, a scary costume, and have your little brother, come out of the closet while you are, taking a selfie or something or whatever, or on the Skype, and then you put that video out there and it goes viral because people believe that there's actually a little boogeyman, little monster in the back of the closet. It's always the closet, right? They just love these boogeymen, these scary creatures. They love the closet. They just love being in a closet, right? Like, give me a break, man. But why people do that? Well, they do that because they know that it will go viral, and people will click on it. Millions of views. You can profit money, monetize that video. You can attract other sponsors, and these other sponsors are going to contact you, and they're going to talk to you, and they're going to approach you, and then you're going to make your money. So what I'm trying to say is this. I'm not against people making money. Okay, I'm all for capitalism. I'm all for, hey, make your money. But the problem becomes on how you make that money. With me, how you make that money, that's where it bothers me. People ask me, why are you being so critical on these YouTubers? A lot of people say to me, I see you criticize this YouTuber, I see you criticize that YouTuber, because they're making their money by manipulating and BSing people, giving them a bogus, stories, and selling the snake oil. I'm not a huge fan of entrepreneurs. I understand that it's there in this country. I know it's there, and a lot of entrepreneurs. But why there's so many entrepreneurs out there? Because it's bullshit. You're selling bullshit. I'm here to bullshit you, to tell you that I care about you. That I care about you. Oh yeah, really? Did you hold my hands when I was 5 years old? Did you help me, go through college and all this other shit? No. Were you there for me? No. All of a sudden now you care. You care about me. So I have a problem with that. I have an issue with the entrepreneurs. I'm not a big fan of entrepreneurs, even though I know some of them. I know quite a lot of them, though. and I know they're not going to like what I have to say, but this is how I feel about it. Because you're not really there to help people, meaning you are misleading people. You are there to help yourself. You're going to use people to help you make your money. That's what the entrepreneur is. I mean, didn't you guys learn anything from the Wall Street, the Oliver Stone movie Wall Street, with Michael Douglas, Gordon Gekko? Haven't you guys learned anything? I mean, watch that movie. I mean, Michael Douglas' character was really, he wasn't even hiding the fact that, hey, I'm ripping these stockholders. Okay? I'm manipulating the stock market. And I'm not even hiding that fact. You know. That's what it's all about. It's about manipulating. It's about selling a snake oil. And some people are good at that. Some people have this influence. It's the way they talk, the way they bring themselves up. And you're going to start believing them. Like Jordan Peterson, right? Is he really there to help you? No. 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 He's there to profit money. And he's making a lot of money going to these forums, podcasts, TV shows, books that he's writing. He's making a fortune, right? He's not there to help you. He's there to sell you some idea on how you should live. How you should live your life. Because I'm a certified psychiatrist, right? There's a lot of certified psychiatrists out there. But guess what they all do? They charge you money for it. And then they give you these prescription drugs that's also cost the fortune on your health insurance. So are these individuals really looking out for you? No, they're not. They're looking out for themselves. And it just drives me crazy that people actually think that these entrepreneurs, like Tony Robbins, oh God. Yes, Tony Robbins is going to put on that acting. He's going to get that. He's going to put on a show. The Academy Award winning show. He's going to do that. And the sheeps who don't know any better are going to buy into that. Are going to believe that. Here, take my money. Take my money. Take my money. That's the word influencers. You know, when we talk about influencers, that's what that means. The word influencers. They're influencing you to do biddings for them. Here, I'll repeat it one more time in case you guys missed out on the first part. They are there to influence who? You. To influence you to do the biddings for them. What does that mean? To use you to do the biddings to make them money. Okay? And that's all there is to it, you know. So I mean, I hate to tell you, I hate to break it to you guys. I hate to be this look, man, I'm not a negative person. I'm probably the most positive, happy person you're going to meet. But I also don't tolerate BS. I also don't tolerate fake individuals and stuff like that. Okay, I have my principles and I live by those principles, whether you like it or don't. I'm not a negative person. This is just a fact. I'm just telling you the facts of the reality. I'm probably the most honest individual out there you're going to hear this from. Who these individuals are. I'm just trying to tell you that you should be careful whom you trust in this world. Okay, remember, nobody is looking out for you other than you. You have to keep that in your mind. Here, I'll say it one more time. No one is looking out for you and your best interest other than you. It is you who has to look out for your best interest. It is you who has to be smart enough to figure out. And you got to play politics. That's why they call it politics. You have to play politics to be able to win in this game. Not just to win in this game, but to be able to survive in this mind game. It's all a mind game, guys. It's all a mind game. You have to figure out this person before he figures you out. And you got to be smart enough to figure him out before he figures you out. And you got to read his every move before he reads your move. So you have to be ahead of the curve all the time. You know. So that's the way I feel about the entrepreneurs. And a lot of these entrepreneurs that I know are Freemasons. And they begged me to join them. 7 of them have recommended me to join their lodges. And I said no. Because I don't sell myself for nobody. Yes, if I sold myself like everybody else out there, like all these other influencers and celebrities, if I sold myself out there, sure, I wouldn't have to worry about the money. I would have a big house. I would have 5 different cars, sports cars. I would have a yacht. I would have more than one house all over the country, all over the nation. I would live large. Life would be good. But what does that mean? Life would be good. In what way? Life would be good in a way that I'm living this fake life by selling myself, by being owned. Because that's what happens. You belong to them. They own you. And you got to do what they tell you to do. You can't say no. You got to say, yes, sir. I'll be there. That time, be there. You need me to do this? Done. You got to pick up that phone. You got to say, yes, sir. I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live a life where I'm owned, where someone owns me like a property, like you belong to me. And that's pretty much what that is. That's why these celebrities are acting. They're actors for a reason. But deep down, they're not happy because they know that they're not free. They know that they have to be very careful what they say. They have to be very careful on what they do. And they can't do freely things that they want to do because it has to be approved by them. So that's why I never joined any of these fraternity society clubs. Never. They wanted me. Believe me, they wanted me because they know that I can influence certain things. But that's why I said no. I'm not for sale. I am who I am. Even if I lived in a little cottage by the lake, even if I lived in a little cabin in the middle of the forest, still, I would be more happier living on that cottage by the lake or that little cabin in the forest on the mountain than to be selling myself to them, But I already talked about them on my coffee vlog. I don't have to rehash that anymore. Then it's already been rehashed. So that's how I feel about entrepreneurs. That's how I feel about that whole thing. It's all bullshit. It's bad for you. It's like George Carlin says. George Carlin was a very intelligent man. Not only was he a genius as a comedian, but also a very intelligent individual. And I have the entire collection of George Carlin specials, comedy stand-up from 1970, 80s, 90s, and early 2000 before he passed away. And one of my favorites is You're All Diseased. That's one of my favorites. Someone asked me the other day, do you think George Carlin was a Mason? Do you think he was a Mason? He was probably approached. Not probably, but 100% he was approached, just like I was approached, just like a lot of people get approached. But he probably said no. I don't belong to any group. I do my own thing. No one's going to control me. So the answer is no. He was not. You're not going to find a single photo of George Carlin doing this, doing that, or doing this, because or doing this, or doing this, because he likes to be. Even on his interview, he says, "I don't want to belong to any group. I don't want to belong to anything. I just want to be me. Let me do me." And the HBO, thank God, really HBO gave George Carlin. God bless HBO. HBO really gave George Carlin the freedom to do what he wants to do, and that's probably the greatest thing that home box office HBO, which is a Warner company, that did that. Warner Brothers, studios, which is owned obviously by Warner Brothers, HBO home box office. And I'll always respect HBO for that they gave George Carlin and Richard Pryor and many others, but especially George Carlin, that they gave him the freedoms. Like, hey, man, go right at it. All these HBO specials, just do your thing. Do your thing, man. And I love that. I respect that the HBO did that. But that was the old HBO. That was the old HBO. HBO now is different, have different CEOs, different boards of directors. Things have changed. But I'm talking about the old HBO, back then. People ask me also, how would George Carlin react if he was still alive on all of this? Would he be surprised? Would he be shocked? No. I think he would just tell you, I told you so. I told you so. Remember, I've been telling you about all of this. Now you're living it. That's pretty much what he would say. So this is nothing shocking. And he would probably say he kind of enjoys it. He kind of, in his weird way, he would say he enjoys this shit. Because, he never felt like that we're like the saints of. Let's be honest. When you look at the human race, sure, there's good people, and of course there is bad people. But my God, there's a lot of bad out there. There's a lot of shady out there. Again, there are good people out there. I don't want people to, and that's what George Carlin was saying. Your proof of guilt is your birth certificate. When you are born into this world, you're guilty as charged. It's just our nature. Our human nature is so fragile, so corrupted, so complex and weird. But maybe that's what makes us unique. But to retrospect on George Carlin, he said, he loves humans, but in short bursts. And when you are born, you're guilty as charged because your birth certificate is your proof of guilt. Now, he was joking. It doesn't mean that he doesn't like people. Of course he likes people. Of course he liked humans, obviously. But he was joking through a comedy. But you know what? Through that comedy, there's some truth to it. When you look at humans throughout history, yes, we did some good. Yes, we have, advanced as a civilization. But my God, did we do a lot of shit? Did we do a lot of negative? I mean, it's hard to, ignore the amount of negative that we have done versus the good. Again, we did advance as a human race, but my God, look how many millions and millions and millions of people have died throughout centuries because of humans. By a human hand. Human hand. Millions. From genocide, Holocaust, religious beliefs, etc., etc. Witchcrafts, there's they burned women. They burned them. They put them on. I forgot what it was. They would put them somewhere and they would burn them. Like they would tie them up to a pole or something, and then they would burn them. This happened in Virginia. Yeah, parts of Virginia, parts of Carolinas, parts of Delaware, yeah, parts of Jersey, New Jersey, they would burn. Part of Massachusetts, in Massachusetts as well, they burned. Yeah, 100 years ago. I mean, 200 years ago. I'm sorry, 200 years ago. Not that long ago. 200 years ago is not that long. So, so I totally understand the perspective of George Carlin comedy about humans. Yes, there's good humans, but when you look at the ratio of the good versus bad and how much bad we have done in the past, it's staggering. It is staggering. Don't get me started with Roman Empire. Don't get me started with Ottoman Empire. Don't get me started with Persian Empire and their dynasties. Mongols and then China. Don't get me started with, obviously, the Aztecs. And they would do sacrificial rituals. So when you think about, us as humans, yes, we have evolved to a certain extent, but there's still that in our DNA. There's still that, that complex, weird, strange behavior that we have. And where does that originated? I don't know. Where did that come from? Who knows? But anyway, George Carlin was a legend, and we can also say that he was a modern prophet. I always called him a modern prophet because, in a way, he was a modern prophet, in my opinion. All right, so we're now off of Georgia and South Carolina. So Georgia, South Carolina. And here we're approaching. Let me know if you guys enjoy this. If you enjoy these types of flying podcasts. I'm still experimenting with this. Let me know what you guys think. Do you enjoy this or not? I think some of you will find this appealing. I don't know. But I want to, experiment with this. Instead of doing a coffee vlog, I think this is better. It's better quality, better audio quality, and you get to enjoy flying views as we're flying. And it's just an idea I had this morning. I was like, hey, dude, why don't I try this? Why don't I give this a go and see what people think? If people don't like it, then fine. I'm just not going to do it. But I think it's worth a try. to see who enjoys this, who doesn't. Again, the reason I'm not doing it as a live stream, because as a live stream, there's just too many people asking questions. It's too much distraction, and it's difficult for me to think when I have distraction, when I have people coming in and typing a bunch of nonsense or asking certain questions. I find it more enjoyable doing it like this. You can still leave a comment, leave your comment. Let me know what you think. Give your opinions on the topics that we talked about here, and then you can still engage with me on the comments down below. But I think it's an interesting idea, flying podcast. I haven't seen anybody do this, and I guess I'm the first one who's doing this. Maybe something turns out with this. Maybe my entire channel becomes just a flying podcast. I don't know. I'm just kidding. No, I mean, I'll do other things. Like, I still got a bunch of stuff I got to do with the televisions. PlayStation 5. We got the Ratchet and Clank coming out. We got another game coming out this Tuesday. It's like the Knights game, like the Knight Templars or something, and Cavalry or whatever. Cavalry 2. It's like the Dark Ages and Templars and in armor, Knights armor and swords and bows and arrows and stuff like that. Should be interesting. And we also have Ratchet and Clank coming out on Friday. And this is pretty much what it's like when you're flying. It can be boring, but it is what it is. But I also believe it makes it interesting for a podcast, doing it this way. I'm really curious to hear what you guys think. That's why I got up early this morning to do this. All right, so we're approaching South Carolina pretty soon. Technically, this flight has been now hour and a half from Miami International. As you can see, this is how far. So yeah, it's an hour and a half from Miami to South Carolina. It's going to be in North Carolina over here pretty soon. There's the Boston right there. So, what else is going on lately? Today on the news. Oh yeah, Neil Tyson deGrasse. What do I think about him? He was on Joe Rogan recently. Here's my thoughts on Neil Tyson deGrasse. I mean, sure, he's a knowledgeable person. He has knowledge about science, about the space and universe, obviously. But one of the things that bothers me with the Neil Tyson deGrasse is this closed-minded, know-it-all point of view. Like, oh, I know everything. Why are you asking me that question? That's absurd, You know what I mean? Like when Joe Rogan asked him about the UFOs, like, what are your thoughts on the UFOs? this possibility that maybe we might be visited by some other entities from another universe or another dimension. Oh, come on. What data do you have? Where is your data? It's this pessimistic, egoistic, self-ego point of view that he has that really bothers me about him. I don't like individuals who don't have an open mind. You as a scientist should have an open mind. That's the whole idea of being a scientist. Hey, there's a possibility this could actually work. Let's keep researching on this. That's how you evolve as a scientist. Nikola Tesla was a scientist, but he had an open mind. Okay? No one believed him. Thomas Edison said, "No, you cannot do this. Alternative current. It doesn't work that way." And he proved him wrong. Yes, it does work that way. And now we're all using the AC, alternative current. So what I'm trying to say is this. I really don't like him. I don't like Neil Tyson deGrasse. He just seems like so full of himself. Kind of like Elon Musk, just like this, full of themselves, egoistic point of view. And I don't like that. That doesn't attract me. That doesn't sit well with me. It bothers me a lot, and that's why I didn't watch that podcast. I only saw little bits and pieces of it, and I couldn't watch anymore. I was like, nah, cannot. Not to mention the fact that this guy, it's taking over the show. Won't even let Joe Rogan talk. He won't even let him talk. It's a Joe Rogan show. You are his guest. You need to let Joe Rogan host the podcast. Let the Joe Rogan talk. And when he asks you a question, then you reply. But no, he's talking over it. He took over the show. And I mean, did you notice that? How quickly he's taking over the podcast? Like, it's not even a Joe Rogan podcast anymore. It's a Neil Tyson deGrasse podcast. He's taking over. He is the one talking right now. That's a sense of egoistic, self-important point of view. Basically, he's telling you, my shit doesn't stink, your shit stinks, and you better smell my shit because it doesn't stink. And I'm not into those kind of individuals. Same thing with Elon Musk. The good thing about Elon Musk is he doesn't talk much. He's just like, yeah, could possibly, sure. That's the one thing about him. He's not a good talker, but still, he has ego, obviously. And I think that's the issue with these individuals. They become so rich and so wealthy and so powerful that they think that their shit doesn't stink. They think that they know everything. They think that they figured this whole thing out. Is that ego takes over, where you think that you're invincible. It's almost like they think they're on the God level, and that's very dangerous for a lot of people. If you ever get in that position where you start thinking that you're like on some God level, that's very dangerous. I'm not saying or accusing Elon Musk of being on that God level, nor am I accusing Jeff Bezos of being on that God level, but I can see how easily it can creep up and go inside their mind for them to start thinking that I'm on the God level now. I'm building space rockets. I'm sending them out to the Mars. I'm building this. I'm building these cars, running on electricity. I'm doing this, doing that. You start thinking that you are on that, God level. And that's all comes in with worshiping. you know, being worshipped. You know, that's what a lot of these individuals in the big tech companies, they like to be worshipped. They want to be the attention, the center of the universe. They really want to be the center of the universe. They want you to talk about them. They want you to put them in the history books. They want you to build statues of them and to still worship them, even after they're gone. That's the kind of mindset that these individuals have. They don't even care about the money. It's just they want you to. They want to be relevant, basically. They want to be worshipped and they want to be relevant. And that's the whole idea of Masonic rituals, of Masonic. Again, I hate to bring them up, but these are all Freemasons. Elon Musk, it's a Freemason. Neil Tyson deGrasse is a Freemason. I already spoke about Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's a Freemason, but he just keeps it quiet. He was, I believe, at his early stages when he did Fear Factory with the NBC, obviously. But right now, I don't think he practices. I don't think he goes to lodges. I don't think he practices it. But still, he is one of them, and he's got to be careful, what he says, obviously. How do you think he gets these guests? People always ask, well, how is it possible that this guy, who was just, a host of NBC, Fear Factory, and then was it Fear Factory? Is that what it was? I think that what it was, Fear Factory. Or Fear Factor. Fear Factor. I'm sorry. It was a Fear Factor, not a Fear Factory. That was a sci-fi show on NBC, Fear Factor. He was successful at that. He was also in some comedy TV shows. How do you think he got those TV shows? And he was also in the UFC, commentator of the UFC, and he did a bunch of comedy, specials on Netflix and other places. And how do you think he knows all of these individuals, all of these famous people? Because he's part of the same group. He's part of the same brotherhood. He's part of the same brand. How do you think he got the Aerosmith to come in? The lead singer from the Aerosmith. How do you think he was able to get Steve to go in there? Because he is Freemason as well. The guy from listen, all of those guests that come into his show, majority of them are Freemasons. Majority of them are belonging to the same group. Now, sure, there's some that are not, but pretty good amount of them they are. So that's how he's able to reach that level of success, man. All right. Why do you think Bill Burr, it's not at that level? Because he's not part of the group that he's part of. Why do you think these other individuals are not as successful as he is? Why is it that Howard Stern is so successful? Well, sure, he has talent. He has talent, and he proved himself in the radio in the past, 30 years. But he's also part of Freemasonry. Listen, this might be difficult for some of you to grasp this or to accept this, but I'm just telling you the truth. The truth, it's something that it's hard for people to digest because it's not what they want to hear, right? So, oh my God, I don't want to hear this, but that's the truth. All right, so we're at North Carolina right now, the coast of North Carolina. We're still flying, obviously. I hope you guys are enjoying the Flying Podcast Part 2. There's going to be a Part 3. Part 3 is going to be obviously us approaching to Virginia, Maryland, New York, Philadelphia, and then making our approach to Boston, Logan Airport. Let me know what you think. Are you guys enjoying this? Do you like this? Do you like the Flying Podcast, or you don't? Give me your feedback. Let me know what you think, because your feedback means everything to me, guys. Remember that. Your feedback, it's everything to me, because your feedback's gonna let me know how you guys feel about this, or do you guys enjoy this? Do you guys not enjoy it? So the feedback, it's very important to me. So if you guys could do that, if you could leave me feedback down below and let me know what you think, that would be much appreciated. Definitely would be. All right, so I'll see you guys on part number 3. I'm trying to keep these podcasts to 50 minutes each. I think 50 minutes each is more than enough for you to listen to what I have to say while we are flying. You know, you probably have never heard me talk like this, but you're going to learn something about me every day if you want me to do these flying podcasts. And if you have some ideas on what type of topics you would like me to talk about, I'd be more than happy to do so. Give me some ideas. Let me know what you think. Maybe there's certain other destinations. Maybe you want me to fly over pyramids or something. Talk about the pyramids. Maybe tomorrow or the next day. Maybe you want me to do that kind of a flying podcast. Maybe you want me to fly around Himalayas, do that flying podcast. I don't know. Give me some ideas. Let me know what you think. You know. All right. And I'm going to see you on part number 3. Make sure you check out part number 1. And, of course, part number 3 coming up. Thank you for watching. Cheers.